everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you from my car, so that can only mean one thing. I am at London Colney today, Arsenal's training ground. It is pretty moody and wet out there. I'm not sure you can see properly, but it is not a very nice day, so I can't imagine training is that much fun over on the pitches behind me. Not that that'll worry me, because I'm going into this building on my right, which is nice and warm for Mikel Arteta's press conference ahead of tomorrow night's massive game against Spurs. Yeah, it's getting very, very close now, isn't it? The nerves are really beginning to kick in. It'll be interesting to see what sort of mood Mikel is in up there, what sort of mood he puts across publicly ahead of this one. We saw Antonio Conte's press conference yesterday. Thought he was quite measured, to be fair. I thought he was going to really go in on Arsenal and the decision in January to move the game back and have it postponed. I thought he was going to try and use that to really stir up the Spurs fan base, almost create even more a hostile atmosphere tomorrow. He didn't really do that. He was quite neutral almost about it. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what Mikel, what approach he takes in his press conference today and in front of the TV cameras. Obviously, with questions about team news, will Ben White play? If not, will Mikel change his formation for this game? There'll be lots of talk about the Champions League and just how transformative it will be. If Arsenal go on and win tomorrow and qualify for the first time since 2017, there'll be talk about, I'm sure, about just what it would do for this young team to have a night of the stature of tomorrow night in terms of going on and winning it. I mean, you look at Arsenal in their history, they've had some massive nights at Spurs, winning the league there in 71, winning the league there in 2004. Obviously, it's not a league title up for grabs tomorrow night, but it's still a massive thing, especially for a team as young as this. And I kind of go back to the Arsenal League Cup win in 1987 when they won in the semi-final with the League Cup at White Hart Lane, David Rocastle scoring the winner. And that was sort of the thing that kick-started the George Graham era. They won the cup that season after winning that game against Tottenham. Then they went on and won the league after that, won the league twice, in fact, after that, FA Cup. You know, that was the thing that kick-started the George Graham era, with that really young side of players who had come through, a lot of them from the academy. And it really does feel similar this time around. If Arsenal could go to Tottenham tomorrow, win, have a night as big as that, have an achievement as big as that, have the celebrations that they would have on the pitch afterwards as together with the fans, and it just feels like it would be a monumental moment for such a young squad that is going places. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens. Obviously, it's not the be-all and end-all. Arsenal can afford to lose this game tomorrow night and still be in the driving seat in terms of the Champions League with 2 games to go. So I'm going to head inside now, start getting ready for the presser, and then I will come on afterwards as always and do the video having a look at exactly what Mikel had to say, going through team news and that sort of thing. Oh man, it is a horrible day here. Really not nice. Last couple of times at London Colney, even glorious sunshine. Not the case. Hopefully that is not foreboding weather for the events that we will get tomorrow. Just heading into the press conference room now, which is up here. And over there is a big indoor training centre, a big full-size pitch there that the players and the women's team use.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone on Zoom.
Hello everyone, so that's that from Mikel's presser. He's just finished. I'm back in my car now. I know I normally do these standing out in the car park, but still tipping it down, so I'm doing it from the confines of my car. Interesting press conference from Mikel. I think he was very clearly trying not to say anything too controversial and trying to flat back an awful lot of stuff. He didn't give too much away, but team news wise, he said that Ben White is still a doubt, that he's been doing much better this week, and there'll be a sort of final decision made. I mean, the team will be leaving here. They're training at the moment over on the pitches. We'd have another session this afternoon, and then the team will leave from here and they'll go to the hotel, and they'll stay at a hotel overnight before going to the stadium tomorrow. So, you know, a decision will be taken on Ben White basically this afternoon. Mikel wasn't giving anything away in terms of what that decision is, but he said he's been doing a lot better this week. But he did say he is still a doubt. So we'll have to wait and see if Ben White plays. He also added that Bukayo Saka is still a doubt as well, which a little bit worrying perhaps, because I'm not sure any of us were really expecting that. As a hunch, I fully expect Bukayo Saka to play, but you know, maybe I'm wrong, but I'd be very surprised if he turned up tomorrow and Saka's not in the team, unless something's happened that we don't know about. I think the way he left the pitch at the weekend, it didn't seem like there was anything too serious that could potentially keep him out of the derby. So given the nature of the game, given the importance of the game, I'd be very surprised if Bukayo Saka isn't fit. But look, Mikel has labelled him as a doubt. Obviously, there's no Kieran Tierney, we know that. There's no Thomas Partey, we know that. So we'll have to wait and see. But those are the two sort of headlines from possible team news-wise, is that both Ben White and Bukayo Saka are doubts. Mikel spoke a lot about the game and what's at stake in it. You know, he said that they're not going for a draw, that this is the opportunity that lies ahead for them, and they want to take it. They want to do it on the night and get it done on the night, which is, you know, which is a good thing to hear, because yes, a draw is not a bad result for Arsenal. We know that. It still gives them a real big opportunity over the final two games to get the job done. But you know, the opportunity to win at Spurs, not just win at Spurs, but secure your spot at the Champions League at Spurs, it doesn't come around very often. I mean, this is the moment for this team to make history, and you know, I think Mikel, the way he was talking, it sounded pretty clear that he wants them to go on and take that opportunity and create history and create a real sort of special moment, something that they can build on and potentially look back on in a few years' time as a moment that really sort of kick-started an era. And so I thought that was quite interesting, his comments about that, when he was asked about, you know, there is a fallback option. It's not win or bust, but the way Mikel was talking, he very much doesn't want to go into the game thinking and letting the players think that a draw is not a bad result. He wants them to go there tomorrow, and he wants them to go there and win. So that was interesting. In terms of the game being called off in January, he was asked about that, but he wasn't really going to get drawn into it too much. He didn't want to say anything too controversial, similar to Antonio Conte there, and he said it's difficult to say who has sort of had the better advantage now of that game calling off. Yes, Tottenham are upset about it. We know that in January, but looking back, Tottenham weren't in a good position in January. Son wasn't fit. He would have missed the game. They've signed a couple of players who've made a big impact since then in the January transfer window. Obviously, they wouldn't have been involved if that game had gone on. Kane hadn't been in very good form up to that point. Conte hadn't been there very long, so he hadn't spent a lot of time sort of working the players and getting his point across. So, you know, there's a case for it being an advantage for Tottenham. There's a case for it being an advantage to Arsenal, and Mikel wasn't really going to he wasn't certainly looking to get drawn in on that. He was asked about transfers. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Gabriel Jesus' agent, or one of the agents connected with Gabriel Jesus, has been talking to Fabrizio Romano, giving a quote. I think that quote was, I haven't got it in front of me, but it was something like, "We have held talks with Arsenal. It's it's something that interests us." I think he said there was like 6 other European teams interested as well. And for now, Jesus is focused on the last 3 games of the season, and then a decision will be made. And that was put to Mikel during the press conference, and as usual, it's honestly not worth it. I know lots of you always send in messages to me and other journalists saying, "Why didn't you ask him about that? Why didn't you ask him about this player? Why didn't you ask him about that player?" But go and listen to what he had to say about Jesus. It was just quite simply, "I don't talk about any players who aren't my players." It was something like that. And that's what he does every single time. There's just no point asking it. It makes a little bit of a soundbite, obviously a nice little video clip that can be clipped up and put on social media, but in terms of what you get out of it, you get absolutely nothing. He just does not talk about players that aren't Arsenal players. And you know, some managers are more happy than others to do that, and Mikel is certainly in the latter when it comes to that sort of group, and when it comes to answering questions about potential transfer targets. So you're not going to hear too much from Arteta when it comes to the Gabriel Jesus links between now and the end of the season. But I've said what I've had to say about Gabriel Jesus. It's certainly a thing. It's certainly a potential deal that is in the pipeline, that there have been discussions about, and no decision has been taken yet. And we're going to have to wait until the end of the season, until the summer, until the transfer window opens. Jesus obviously is still very much a Man City player. They're still going for the title, so he's not going to let himself get sort of distracted by all the transfer talk, and Arsenal have got their own issues to concentrate on the moment with the race for the top 4. So The summer transfer window is fast approaching. I know you all love it, but we just have to wait a little bit longer before we can really sort of jump into it, because there's a fair bit of football, fair bit of important football still to be played between now and then. Sort of looking further ahead to tomorrow night's game, you kind of look at what Arsenal might do. I've said it in previous videos. I still think, and a lot of it depends on Ben White, I'd say, if he's fit or not. I think if Ben White plays, I'd be very surprised if Arsenal don't line up in a back three. Tomorrow, I think they'll kind of mirror the way they played against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I think if Ben White plays, you'll see a back three of Ben White, Holding and Gabriel, and then potentially Tomiyasu at right wing back, maybe Bukayo Saka at left wing back, and then you might see Emil Smith-Rowe and Martin Odegaard playing together like they did at Stamford Bridge. It was one occasion that really worked pretty well together, I think, because it wasn't the 4-2-3-1 formation. It was you had the extra defender as well, and it kind of worked well. And I think it's a way I feel like Arteta is probably going to line things up against this Tottenham team, who also play obviously in a back three. It'll be a kind of match them up, go like for the like. I'm just not sure we're going to see a back four. I'd be surprised if that's the way Arteta goes. Like I said, it might all rest on Ben White, but even if it doesn't, you could easily move Tomiyasu in to be the right-sided centre-back in the three, and then have Cedric Suarez as a right wing-back. Just kind of feels to me that's the way that Mikel will go at the White Hart Lane Stadium. I'll pop on, I'll try and do a video for the morning if I can, sort of looking ahead a little bit more in terms of who might start, give my predicted 11 as well. But as I've said in previous videos, I just get a sneaky feeling for this one, and kind of listening to what he's had to say up there as well, it just feels to me like the back three is the way that Arsenal might well go for this one tomorrow night. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching today's video. Appreciate your viewing. As always, please do enjoy the rest of your day. Like I said, I'll try and do a video in the morning for you on the day of the game. If not, and I am playing golf tomorrow because I need to take my mind off it in the morning. I can't just sit around waiting for the game to take place. I think I'm just going to go stir crazy if I do that. So I'm trying to keep my mind off things, play golf in the morning before making my way up to the stadium. I will be at the game, so keep your eyes peeled for the usual stuff. I'll try and do my pre-match broadcast of the warm-ups, do my team news reaction, and then hopefully at the end of the game, player ratings or even celebration video. Who knows? But I don't want to think about that yet. I don't want to jinx anything. Let's just concentrate on the match first of all. Have a very good day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.